plaintiff, Michael Miller, has known the defendant for 15 years, and they eventually moved in together. 6 months later, Michael claims the defendant choked his girlfriend, so he moved out. Michael's suing because he says after he moved out, the defendant refused to return his gun. Defendant Ronald Topple Jr. says Michael was 29 years old when they lived together, and Michael's girlfriend was only 16. And Ronald insists he never laid a finger on her. Ronald admits that he got a gun for Michael, but claims Michael gave it to him in exchange for rent. Ronald's countersuing for rent and utilities.
Start with you.
I know Mr. Topple like 15 years, Your Honor. Thought he was a good friend. Moved in with him. About a good 6 months later, he put his hands on my girlfriend, left marks on her throat, which made me move out.
Why did he do that?
It was over some cell phone.
That's not true.
It was over a cell phone.
Don't come get tough now. You should have did all that when he had his hand around your girlfriend's neck.
Oh, we believe
raise
me.
up. We're gonna raise up now. And this man
me,
choked your girlfriend, and you haven't done anything. Go ahead. You tell me what happened.
Your Honor, yeah, it was over a cell phone. He asked me to take the cell phone away from her so she can continue to do her homework.
Why couldn't he take it?
Because he was supposedly working at a security department.
He wasn't there.
Right. And she was only 16 and in high school at the time.
How old were you all?
Well, he's 29. I'm 28.
How long ago was that?
This was just under a year ago.
What did you do?
Well, for starters, I mean, I sit there and I dealt with his situation with him, and it started downfalling from then on.
Now I want to hear about this incident.
What about
choking the girl?
Oh no,
I forgot? Choking this 16-year-old. That's what he just alleged.
I never choked no 16-year-old. She started to get a fight with my girlfriend at the time because we took her phone away because all she was doing was texting her other boyfriend.
As in whom?
Michael.
He was at work?
Yes, he was.
And you came home from work? What were you doing with this 16-year-old? Are you 29?
She wasn't 16, Your Honor. She was 17. And
where'd you meet her? In the school?
No, she was a senior that year.
Where'd you meet her?
I met her when I was in
playground, right?
No, I was in school for the Army at the time, and I met her on a phone dating site.
Yeah, we need Chris Hansen to come see you. Dateline.
So at the time, I didn't know she was underage because she told me she was 18 at the time.
That's the same thing they tell Chris Hansen.
But after a while, the reason I found out she was underage is one day I got a speeding ticket and she was slumped over in the seat. And I told her it's just a speeding ticket. I got my license, my registration, here you go. She goes, no, I lied to you. I said, what do you mean you lied to me? She goes, well, I'm only 16 at the time.
So you continued the relationship?
It wasn't more about the sex as more as about the mental part. We connected more in the head than we did anything else. I mean, we had fun together without having to sleep together. We did.
All right, let's move on. So he did that to your girlfriend, then what?
Then I moved out in May 29th. I moved in to an apartment and I was collecting my belongings and I let him use a gun for a security job. He would make more money armed than he would unarmed. I had 2 at the time. So I was like, well, you can use this one, make more money for your girl and her kids. And, you know, while I was living there, I knew where it was going. When I moved out, he kept telling me it was somebody else's gun. So at some point he started saying this is somebody else's gun? Right. He said had forgotten that you had handed it to him? He kept saying when I went back and take it that day I moved, he goes, no, this is not your gun. Did you remind him of the day that you handed it to him? I told him it was mine. He didn't believe me. Did you say, hey, now what do you mean he didn't believe you? Did you say, do you remember XYZ day and when we discussed you having the gun because you would make more money and you would be able to give more money to your girlfriend and her children? Do you remember that day? Right. Did you say that? I didn't say that to him. I told him it was my gun. It's always been my gun. I let him use it. He goes, no, it's somebody else's. So I called. He never acknowledged receiving it from you? Right.
He
So-
said, I've never received this from you. What are you talking about?
So I had to end up calling Gary PD out
Police
there.
department.
Police department.
Gary,
they came
Indiana.
out there that day. He didn't stick around. He got dressed for work and left before the cops showed up. When
Okay.
the cops showed up at the house, they asked for Mr. Topple and the gun. Now at the time, I misplaced the serial numbers for it, so they called him, got the serial number for it. When they ran it, it came back to me. Now they told him actually that day he had to bring it back. Now his work called me that day.
That's not true either.
His work
Let him
called me
finish.
that day and asked me if he could.
Come on, man. Stop all this talking grim and trying to. You didn't do any of that when he was choking your woman. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I would rather. I almost did go after him that
And
day.
I'm glad you didn't.
But I
the
wanna
right
do it
thing
the right
to do
way.
is take it through the justice system. Absolutely.
So on that day, his work called me, asked him if he could keep it to Sundays because I can't change the schedule that quick. I said that's fine.
How did his work know that you were making a claim for it?
I guess his girl called his work or some other, but his work.
Let me
ended
get to him, sir. Tell me about the gun incident.
My girlfriend called me when the Gary PD got there, and I spoke to the officer.
No. Take me back to whether you received a gun from him.
Yes, I
The
did.
questions that he should have asked you, I'm going to ask you.
Yes, I did.
Did you receive
I
a
did
gun
receive
from
a gun
him?
from him because
All
he
right.
was currently had the 40 with him.
So when he came to ask for his gun, what did you say?
He confronted me the day that he was moving out, which was the end of May, and he had stated that he wanted his gun back. And at the time, I was still scheduled for the security company that I was working for as an armed guard. Now, when he told me he was calling the cops, I was in the car and I was taking off in the car. He says, "Where are you going? The cops are coming." I says, "I'm not going to miss a day of work just because you want to play your games with
All right,
whatever."
so what happened?
See, the whole thing about the gun that he wanted back, because he made a big deal about a DVD player that he wanted to take with him. And that was the only reason why he wanted his gun back.
Is it his gun?
No, it isn't. In April, he signed a piece of paper, which I have right here,
Saying what?
that the gun was relinquished to me as I own it.
You purchased it or something?
Yeah, it was for the month of rent that wasn't.
Okay, so in exchange for the rent that he owed you, let me have it please, Dorothy. In exchange for the rent that he owed you, he told you you could keep his gun.
Yes.
All right, and this is what you're providing me, handgun bill of sale. All right, sir.
I never signed that piece of paper.
Do you have your license? This is going to be easy. Well, I'm usually able to detect a fraud.
Your Honor, I also have another form that he signed. Was when
Let's see that.
back in May, he signed it that he was telling us that he was 4 months late, and that was the reason why he was getting out of the household.
All right, what's your counterclaim?
It's for rent for 4 months. I did take the value of the gun, which was $300, which I have two reputable gun shops stating the value of the gun.
All right, you have a problem here today. Both of these signatures are the same. That's the good news. The bad news is that neither of the two signatures matches driver's license. So it appears that whoever forged his name forged it twice, because this doesn't match either of the two. It's a big difference, not just a little difference. It's a big difference. And therefore, I'm concluding that you have attempted to perpetrate a fraud against the court, and I'm going to grant his judgment $1,500 and dismiss your judgment of $805 based on your attempt to defraud me. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I'm going to go to Lake County Court and press forgery charges on him.
Whatever the situation is, man, I don't think you're gonna follow through with it.
Oh, I will.
Whatever.
Hi, Judge Mathis. I'm Raquel. I have a question. If someone hacks into my MySpace account and changes my personal information, can I sue them for defamation?
Thanks for your question, Raquel. Defamation is the communication of a false statement to third parties which causes damage to your reputation. If you can prove that someone posted untrue information about you, causing damage to your reputation, you may have a case.